To everyone, right? All right.
Yes,
Yeah, great. So my name is Shriyam Kedia, as you can probably see, and I will tell you a little bit about myself before we start with the actual lecture. I did my graduation from Miranda House in BA Honors Economics, and currently I've enrolled in DU's Law Faculty as a first year in CLC. Right, last year, obviously, I gave DU LLB 2022. And apart from that, I also gave a few other law entrances that I managed to qualify, which included MHSET, PULLB, and NLSAT. I reached the interview round of, right? So I'm just telling you a little bit about myself so you know something. इसके अलावा I think I'd also like to hear from all of you. सो मे बी हम ऐसे कर सकते हैं कि आप सब मुझे अपना इंट्रोडक्शन दे दें एंड वी कैन गो इन अल्फाबेटिकल ऑर्डर तो यू कैन टेल मी योर नेम एंड यू नो वेर यू आर फ्रॉम एंड सिंस यू आर एमिंग फॉर द 3 ईयर का लॉ डिग्री सो या तो आप ऑलरेडी ग्रेजुएट हो गए या फिर आप 3rd ईयर में हो गए तो आप बता सकते हो कि आप किस कॉलेज से हो या फिर किस कॉलेज से थर्ड मतलब डिग्री कर रहे हो सो वी कैन स्टार्ट राइट आई होप एवरीवन्स ready to like give their introduction so I also know a little bit about you. So guys, I'll just call you out, right, from the meet, from from this list. So I see Washid Ali. Guys, you can unmute yourself and introduce. It's okay. Okay, I think I'll call out another name then. I see Gyanendra Kumar. Okay, anyone who wants to just go ahead and introduce themselves then. Yeah, just you don't need to raise your hand, just unmute yourself and
Hello, ma'am. My name is Nidhi Vishwakarma, and I am from Varanasi.
Mhm.
And currently, I'm doing graduation from PHU. Thank
Okay,
you.
that's great. Okay, so you can just do that, guys. You can raise your hand or you can just unmute yourself and give me your introduction. So I also know a little bit about you because we'll be spending a few months doing this. Yeah, you can go ahead, Divyani Kapoor.
Hello, Devyani Kapoor this side, and I'm from Delhi, and I'm pursuing graduation from Delhi University, 3rd year.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Anyone else who wants to introduce? Yeah, go ahead. Satyadev Sindhukari. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Actually, I'm from Andhra Pradesh, ma'am.
Okay,
Hello.
and yeah, I can hear you. And where you're doing your graduation from,
Ac-
or have you?
Actually, I'm doing my graduation in Tamil Nadu, Madurai. I'm doing
Okay,
my BSc Honors Agriculture. I'm in
okay,
4th year.
all right. Okay, that's great. That sounds interesting. Yeah, go ahead, Riaz.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, my name is Riaz. Actually, I belong to Ladakh and I'm pursuing my graduation from Trivandrum College.
Okay, that's great. That's great. What are you graduating in?
I'm in engineering program.
Okay, great. I see Ridya Pava.
Hello, good evening, ma'am. My name is Radhya Pava. I am from Delhi University, Sri Aurobindo College, and I am pursuing
Mm.
BA Political Science Honors, and I am in 6th semester, 3rd year. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. I see Muskan's introduction in the chat, and that's great. Okay, anyone else who also wants to introduce themselves, you can go ahead and do that. You can directly unmute yourself or raise your hand, or also just put it in the chat if you want. Okay, if there is no one else who's,
Hello, ma'am.
yeah, hello, I see Dhruv. Hello.
My name is Dhruv. I'm from Delhi and I'm currently pursuing human resource management from CVS DU.
Okay, that's great. I see Washid Ali raising their hand. You can go ahead.
Yes, hello ma'am. My name is Mohammad Washid Ali. I am from Bareilly, Uttar Pradesh, and currently I am pursuing BA Political Science from AMU, Aligarh Muslim University.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think. Okay, great. Great. I see Ritika's introduction in the chat. That's great. And I see some Rithi raising her hand, so you can go ahead.
Hello, I'm Samriddhi Rai from Patna, Bihar, and I'm pursuing graduation in French honors from Banaras Hindu University.
Okay, that's great. Sounds very interesting. I also see Mishu's introduction in the chat. That's also great. All right. Okay, I see more introductions. Okay. Anyone else who's raised their hands? Let me just check. Yes, guys, you can go ahead one by one. I see Anshuman, and then Shubham, and then Sanskriti. So you can go ahead in that order.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, my name is Anshuman Oja. I am basically
Mhm.
from Dhanbad, and I am pursuing my graduation from Patna University in BA English Honors.
Hmm. Okay, that's great. Yes, Sanskriti, you can go ahead. Shubham first,
Hello
and then.
everyone. Hello ma'am.
All right. Yeah.
I am
Go ahead.
Saraswati Naran and I am doing my graduation from Banaras Hindu University and
Mhm.
I live in Ranchi.
Okay, that's great. Okay. And I also see a lot of introductions in the chat, which is great. All right, guys. Um, anyone who's left or still wants to introduce themselves can go ahead. And
हेलो
then, hello. Yes, Shubham, go ahead.
मैम, मेरा नाम शुभम है और
Hmm.
मैंने पाटलिपुत्रा यूनिवर्सिटी से बैचलर ऑफ साइंस किया है
Hmm.
और मेरा ये रिपीट है। मैंने इससे पहले भी DU LL भी दिया था पर मैं रह गया, मेरा सिलेक्शन नहीं हुआ। मैं जनरल कैटेगरी।
Okay, great.
Hello,
All right.
ma'am.
Hello. Yes.
My name is Latika Kantpal, and I'm doing political science honors from Delhi University, final semester.
Okay, great. That's great. Great, guys. I see a variety of courses and a lot of universities, different. So that's great. Okay. Anyone else, guys? Because then I'll start with. Oh, I see Megha. You go ahead. I don't want to miss anyone. Megha.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Megha. I'm from Roorkee, Uttarakhand. I
Hmm.
have done my graduation in English from
Hmm.
HNB University.
Okay. HNB is.
Hemwati Nandan Bahuguna Garhwal University.
All right. Great. I see Sehla raising her hand. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
I am from Kerala and
Hmm.
I'm in my final year in undergraduation from a
Hmm.
local university here.
Okay, great. Okay, guys.
Ma'am, your introduction.
Yeah, okay, I gave that, but I'll do it again for anyone who's joined later on. So, as I said, I'm Shriyam, and I did my graduation from Miranda House in BA Honors Economics, and currently I am a first year in DU's Law Faculty in CLC, right? So that's about me. And as for the things that I will be covering, I will be teaching you English, reasoning, and maths. Now I understand कि ये सारे areas you might think do not have in as much weightage as legal polity या current affairs do, but they're still very important. And the good thing about these areas is the fact that they're scoring, because the questions are not too complicated, so you can easily get those marks, and that's what I'm here to ensure that all of you do. Right. So
For
okay.
NSLAT, we need English section more.
Yeah, you do need English more. So I'll be covering that according to based on all of these exams. But I will be starting with reasoning, okay? Because reasoning is important for most of the law entrances that all of you are aiming at, right? So I'll start with reasoning. And a few things that I want to cover before I start with a lecture is the fact that I will try to do the things both Hindi and English में. बट एट एनी पॉइंट अगर आपको कंफ्यूजन हो कि मैंने कोई चीज इंग्लिश में बोली और आपको उसका ट्रांसलेशन हिंदी में चाहिए हो, तो यू कैन आस्क मी, एंड द सेम गोज अदरवाइज दैट आई हैव एक्सप्लेन समथिंग इन हिंदी एंड यू वांट एन एक्सप्लेनेशन इन इंग्लिश, तो यू कैन feel free to ask me, because I can understand that. I want to make sure that whoever is comfortable with whichever language gets an explanation in that, right? I see Suruchi's introduction. Okay, that's great, Suruchi. Right. Apart from that, because the topics, subjects I will be covering are, things where I'll be solving a lot of questions with you, I will suggest that you sit with a pen and copy, and whenever I'm discussing questions, आप मेरे साथ वो questions solve करो. ठीक है? It shouldn't be like I'm solving them and you just wait कि मैं solve करके आपको answers बता दूंगी, because that will not make sure that आपका concept clear हुआ. So you sit with a pen and copy and you solve questions as I do them. So you are fully clear, and at any point, if you have any doubts when I'm teaching, you can unmute yourself and ask me that. I prefer that you unmute yourself, because अगर आप chat पे डाल दोगे तो it's not necessary कि अगर मैं present कर रही हूँ तो मैं आपके chat पे questions देख पाऊँ. तो आप बीच में मुझे interrupt कर सकते हो, आप अपना question पूछ सकते हो and अपने doubts को clear कर सकते हो. ठीक है? Don't ever feel like कि you're asking what you have a doubt in is something stupid. मतलब all questions are welcome. It might be the most basic thing that you're confused with, but you can feel free to ask me. All right. So that's that. Apart from that, I think I'll tell you a little bit about how I'll be teaching. So since I will be beginning with reasoning, we'll first cover topics from analytical reasoning and उसके बाद हम critical reasoning पे जाएंगे. So with reasoning, we'll understand the basic concepts, the rules, etc. And we'll solve questions and we'll look at examples जैसे जैसे हम वो rules etc. करते जाएंगे, right? So so that everything that we look at, everything we understand, वो उन examples या questions के through clear हो जाए. And we'll start from the very basics of all of these topics, because आपके सारे exams में बहुत ज़्यादा complicated questions नहीं पूछे जाएंगे. So you only have to understand the basics really well to be able to solve the questions till the level that you will be asked, So it's usually like a middle kind of a difficulty level that you face, from an easy to like a middle. It's usually not too difficult. So you have to understand that we'll cover all the basics, and कभी कभी आपको लग सकता है कि ये तो बहुत ही simple चीज़ है, but those are the things that end up confusing us at times. So we'll make sure that all of that is very, very clear for all of you. Okay. So before I start with the topic that I want to teach you all today, I will ask if any one of you has any questions for me or anything you want to discuss with me before I start, or even if you have any suggestions or any doubts, you can, this is the time. Aap unmute karo, apna hand raise karo, whatever, and just ask me if you have any doubts. So guys, anything that you want to ask me before I start?
Ma'am, today which topic you start?
Today I'll start with directions, which is a topic in analytical reasoning. All right. Anything else, guys? I see someone, whoever's raising their hand can just unmute themselves and ask me.
मैम कितने टाइप के क्वेश्चन होते हैं इसमें जो यूजुअली आते हैं, और हम पहले प्रीवियस ईयर में कितने आ चुके हैं, मतलब
See, direction से, because see, reasoning में बहुत सारे topics होते हैं. It's not necessary कि जो सारे topics आपको पढ़ने उन सब में से questions आए, but usually क्या होता है कि mostly like you have to be prepared with all of them, because आपको पता नहीं रहता है कि उससे कितने questions आ सकते हैं. As for directions, वो एक ऐसा topic है जिससे most of the time आपको अपने like at least some of the entrances that you will be giving, उसमें आपको कुछ ना कुछ questions मिल जाएंगे. ठीक है? Because it's a very sort of a popular topic when it comes to reasoning. And the reason I will be starting with directions is the fact that it's it's an easy topic to score in. The questions are not too difficult, and it's a likely topic जिससे आपको at least एक या दो question मिल सकते हैं अपने exam में. ठीक है? Anything else, guys? You can ask me if you have to, if you have any other doubts. If you don't have any doubts, you can just maybe put up a thumbs up in the chat, so I'm sure, so I'm clear that you all are present here and, everything I've said is clear.
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Clear, right? So I'll begin with the lecture. I'll start sharing my screen. और एक बार मेरे को कोई कंफर्म कर देना कि द स्क्रीन इज विजिबल, एंड बिकॉज आई विल स्टार्ट टू प्रेजेंट, मेरे को आपके आई वोंट बी एबल टू सी इफ यू पुट अ क्वेश्चन इन द चैट, तो यू कैन अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ एंड देन आस्क मी. ठीक है? इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट्स इन द मिडल, we'll only be covering basics and a few examples for this first lecture today. Okay, so let me just start to share my screen. Just a minute, guys. So, can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's just okay. So I hope, yeah, okay. So I've already told you about this topic a little bit, right? That it's from analytical reasoning. It's not a very complicated topic, but it's complicated enough that you will find, most likely you'll find questions from this, at least a couple of questions. All right. And maybe more depending on which entrance it is that we're looking at. All right. So I'll go ahead. Now, all of us know the basic directions, right? We have north, south, east, and west. You need to remember that to the right of north, you have east, and to the left of north, you have west. And then you have four other directions where you have northeast in the middle of north and east, southeast in the middle of south and east, southwest in the middle of south and west, and northwest in the middle of north and west. Okay, so I hope there's no confusion here. Just remember that to the right of east, to the right of north, you have east, and to the left of north, you have west. Okay, so just knowing this can help you solve questions, and we'll look at an example before we move ahead to some other pointers. So here you see a question, which is, so the question is that John is walking towards east for 20 miles, turns right and walks another 5 miles. He then turns right and moves 20 miles. What direction is he from the starting point? So let's see how we can solve this question. Okay. So now this is the starting point. I hope you can
Ma'am,
see it.
please show that diagram again so that we can draw
Oh,
it.
okay, all right. And also, guys, you will get this PPT, right? So you don't have to worry about, getting all that information. But yeah, sure, you can copy the diagram. Just tell me once you're done, okay?
Done, ma'am.
Done? Okay, I'll move ahead then. ठीक है, सो ये क्वेश्चन में क्या बोला है कि जॉन इज वॉकिंग टुवर्ड्स ईस्ट फॉर 20 माइल्स. अच्छा, वन मोर थिंग. सो व्हेनेवर यू सी डायरेक्शंस के क्वेश्चन, आप एक छोटा सा बेसिक डायरेक्शंस जो है कॉर्नर में बना लो. यू कैन सी व्हाट आई एम ड्राइंग ऑन द स्क्रीन, राइट? गाइस, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. ठीक है, just confirming because okay, so you draw it so that it's clear. Now we see that John is walking towards east. हमें पता है east इधर है for 20 miles, तो उसने 20 miles walk किया towards east. Then he turns right. ठीक है. Now if he is walking towards east, मतलब वो east face कर रहा है, तो उसके लिए इधर left है and इधर right है. Don't make the confusion of don't make a mistake here. ये कई बार हो जाता है कि आप अपना लेफ्ट और राइट देखने लगते हैं. आपको देखना है कि दिस पर्सन हु इज मूविंग टुवर्ड्स ईस्ट, उसका लेफ्ट इधर है, उसका राइट इधर है. So he has turned towards right and he's walked for another 5 miles. Okay, that's what the question says. Then he then turns right and moves 20 miles, right? So again he's turned right. So up now if he's moving this side, तो उसका left इधर होगा और उसका right इधर होगा. Okay, because he is moving towards south right now, and now he's turned in the right direction again. So he's turned in the right direction and he's moved for 20 miles, right? Sorry. Yeah. 20 miles. And this is his ending point. So this is the starting point. This is the ending point. Can anyone tell me what direction is he from the starting point?
South.
South, right? Very simple, very basic question. Does anyone have any doubts with this question? I'll show you a better diagram for this. Right. Anyone who has any doubts? No.
Ma'am, explain it again.
Ma'am, please repeat this question.
Okay, I'll repeat the question. So, okay. What does it say? कि John is walking towards east for 20 miles. John ने east direction में 20 miles walk किया है. ठीक है? So, this is the 20 miles he's walked. उसके बाद उसने right turn किया. ठीक है. सो ईस्ट की तरफ अगर हम मूव कर रहे हैं तो हमारा राइट क्या होगा? साउथ होगा, राइट? तो उसने साउथ की तरफ 5 miles वॉक किए एंड देन उसने वापस राइट टर्न लिया, तो अगर हम साउथ की तरफ वॉक कर रहे हैं तो राइट टर्न इस साइड होगा, एंड उसने 20 माइल्स वापस वॉक किए हैं। तो बेसिकली दिस इज द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट। अब हमसे पूछा जा रहा है क्वेश्चन में व्हाट डायरेक्शन इज ही फ्रॉम द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट। तो स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट से किस डायरेक्शन में है? तो स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट से अगर हम देखेंगे तो दिस इज साउथ, इन द साउथ डायरेक्शन, राइट? दिस पर्सन विल बी इन द साउथ डायरेक्शन फ्रॉम दिस स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट। मतलब ये जो पॉइंट है इससे साउथ में है, राइट? Is it clearer? Are you, whoever asked me to explain it again, do you want any other explanation, any particular thing that you are not sure कि कैसे ये हम यहाँ तक पहुंचे? Or is it fine? Is it clear?
Yes, मैम, क्लियर होगा।
हो गया क्लियर? किसी को अभी भी डाउट है? No, if no, you can say no.
No, ma'am.
No, right? Great. So I'll move ahead. We'll look at some more pointers before we solve more questions. ठीक है? तो अब हमने देखा है कि डायरेक्शंस, बेसिक डायरेक्शंस देखे हमने। अगर बेसिक डायरेक्शन से क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, जैसे ये क्वेश्चन था, तो इसमें आपको सिंपली एक छोटा सा आप डायरेक्शंस का ये मैप बना लो, नॉर्थ ईस्ट साउथ वेस्ट, एंड देन आप उसके बेसिस पे सिंपली यू हैव टू do it in a diagram what the question says and you will get the answer. But now a few more things. So we know that एक circle जो होता है वो पूरा 360 degrees बनता है, ठीक है? The whole is 360 degrees. जब उसमें हमने directions add कर दिए, which are these 4 directions, so this 360 gets divided into 4 equal parts. So if you divide 360 by 4, you know you will get 90 degrees, which makes a right angle. तो ये चारों डायरेक्शंस के बीच बीच में क्या बनेंगे? 4 राइट एंगल्स बनेंगे, राइट? You get 490 degrees. Is this fine? Is this clear?
Yes,
What I'm
ma'am.
saying right now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Clear,
ma'am.
right? You get 90 degrees all of here.
Repeat, ma'am.
Okay. So what I'm saying is कि जो एक circle, okay, wait here. So you have a circle which makes 360 degrees as a whole, ठीक है? अब अगर सपोज हमने यहाँ पे 4 डायरेक्शंस बना दिए, which is you have north, south, east and west, तो ये 364 इक्वल पार्ट्स में डिवाइड हो जाएगा, ठीक है? और अगर आप 360 को 4 से डिवाइड करोगे तो आपको पता है कि 90 मिलेगा, एंड 90 डिग्री मेक्स अ राइट एंगल, ठीक है? रिमेंबर दिस. These terms might be used in the question, so you have to know that a 90 degree makes a right angle. So there is a 90 degree angle between north and east. There is a 90 degree angle between east and south, between south and west, and between west and north. Is this clear? Who asked me this to repeat? Is it clear for you now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So you get this. अब इसके बाद we know that 4 और directions हमें टैकल करने हैं, which is north west, north east, south east and south west. So we know कि ये 90 डिग्री फर्दर 2 पार्ट्स में डिवाइड हो जाएगा. तो ये पता है कि 90 डिग्रीज को अगर हम 2 पार्ट्स में डिवाइड करेंगे, so we'll get 45, right? So there's a 45 degree angle between north and northeast, right? And the same goes for northeast and east, right? इसके बीच में भी 45 डिग्रीज होंगे. यू सी दिस कि ये 45 डिग्रीज होगा और ये भी 45 डिग्रीज होगा. यहाँ पे भी एज यू मूव अहेड, ईस्ट एंड साउथ ईस्ट के बीच में 45 डिग्रीज होगा, एंड साउथ ईस्ट एंड साउथ के बीच में 45 डिग्रीज होगा, एंड यहाँ पे भी द सेम विल फॉलो. ठीक है? ये चीज समझ आ गई है सबको?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Clear? Great. So you now understand how these angles work, and you might get कि इतना degree someone has moved, so you will have to calculate कि वो कितना जा रहा है. Another thing I'll cover here is clockwise and anti-clockwise. You all know कि जिस तरफ in your clock the pointer moves, that is your clockwise direction. So if you move in the right direction, it's clockwise. If you move in the left direction, it's anti-clockwise. Right? Just remember, towards the right if you're moving, it's clockwise. Towards the left if you're moving, it's anti-clockwise. Fine? This is also fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine? ठीक है, चलो. Now we'll look at another question, which based on the things that we've now seen. So now we see this question. Alice walks 10 kilometers to the east. She turns 90 degrees anti-clockwise and walks 5 kilometers. She now turns 180 degrees anti-clockwise and walks 5 kilometers. Which direction is she facing? So, what does the question
South.
say? Yeah, that's fine. Wait, actually, we'll look at it here because this is a slightly less like a this thing. Okay, so we see that LS walks 10 kilometers to the north, right? We know the 4 directions, which is north, south, east, and west. Okay, so LS is walking 10 kilometers to north, and she then turns 90 degrees anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise मतलब she's turning left. ठीक है, तो वो left turn कर रही है. And as soon as it's a 90 degrees anti-clockwise from north, we know that she's turning in the towards west, and she's walking 5 kilometers. So she's facing west, right? Now there's another part. She now turns 180 degrees clockwise and walks 5 kilometers. So clockwise would mean towards left or right, guys?
Right.
Right.
Right, ma'am.
Okay. So she's moving 180 degrees to the right, and she's walked how many kilometers? 5 kilometers, right? So 5 kilometers. So now she's facing which direction?
Northeast.
Yes.
ठीक है? Now, any doubt here? Guys, anyone who has a doubt?
मैम क्वेश्चन में मैम आई थिंक जो
हाँ,
सबसे
ये जो
पहली स्लाइड
सेकेंड,
थी
हाँ जो यहाँ पे there's an extra point I think
हाँ
यहाँ पे
उसमें
मैंने ऐड करना मैं भूल गई हूँ. So you look at this question and the solution is here. ठीक है?
ओके
ठीक है, मतलब उसके अलावा अंडरस्टैंडिंग में कोई डाउट है किसी को कि मतलब क्या हुआ है कि शी इज वॉक 10 किलोमीटर टू द ईस्ट फिर 90 डिग्रीज एंटी क्लॉकवाइज 5 किलोमीटर वॉक.
मैम इसमें ईस्ट लिख रहा है लेकिन इसमें नॉर्थ है.
यस मैम.
मैम वो गलत है मैम क्वेश्चन.
Okay, wait. You know what? We'll just look at this part. Just forget this extra. So if we just look at the question जो अभी slide पे है and this portion कि 10 kilometers to the north, we understand how 90 degrees से we reached this direction and now this person is facing west. Is this much clear? Because then I'll understand कि at least you're clear with this concept of clockwise, anti-clockwise and the degrees. Because we
Yes,
look at another question.
ma'am, this is clear.
This is clear, right?
Ma'am,
Anyone?
मैम जैसे मुझे ये समझ आ गया कि वो 10 किलोमीटर नॉर्थ की, फिर उसने फिर एलिस ने 90 डिग्री की तरफ टर्न, सॉरी 5 किलोमीटर के बाद टर्न कर लिया, तो 90 डिग्री का एंगल बन गया. बट ये समझ नहीं आया कि उसने फेसिंग वेस्ट.
सी अभी ये इधर टर्न कर दिया, राइट? वो 90 डिग्रीज अगर टर्न कर ली है फ्रॉम नॉर्थ तो वो ईस्ट वेस्ट की तरफ जा रही है. दिस एरो व्हिच साइड इज दिस फेसिंग? वेस्ट ना. तो अगर वो 90 डिग्रीज यहाँ से, जैसे दिस इज नॉर्थ, सो वी नो कि इसके बीच में नॉर्थ और वेस्ट के बीच में 90 डिग्रीज का एंगल है, और अगर वो एंटी क्लॉकवाइज टर्न कर रही मतलब वो लेफ्ट की तरफ हो रही है. एंड हमें पता है कि नॉर्थ के लेफ्ट में क्या है? वेस्ट है 90 डिग्रीज पे, which is the side she's turned at. and उसके बाद उसने 5 किलोमीटर वॉक किया है, तो वो किस डायरेक्शन में वॉक कर रही है? वेस्ट के साइड में. तो दैट इज व्हाई वो वेस्ट के साइड में है. If someone's put something in the chat, please say it, guys. Okay, so it's fine, right? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
ठीक है,
ma'am.
so I'll look at another question now. Just a minute. Right. So now this is the question. We see Karan is facing south and turns 45 degrees anti-clockwise. He then turns 270 degrees in anti-clockwise direction. Which direction is he facing? So let's see how we solve this. And he's facing south, so he's facing this side. We again draw the direction so there's no confusion. Okay, so he's facing south and then he turns 45 degrees anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise we know means left. So he turns 45 degrees and he's just turning 45 degrees. So it should be this, right? He's not turning full 90 degrees. He's a 45 degrees turn. So now he's facing which direction, guys? Anyone?
Southeast.
Southeast. ठीक है, किसी को ये चीज समझ नहीं आई कि क्यों हम ये साउथ ईस्ट है?
Ma'am, please repeat it again.
Repeat it. Okay. So see, यहाँ पे we are saying Karan is facing south. Here he is standing. He's facing this. ठीक है? Then he turns 45 degrees. Now let's look at our angle का this thing again. So we know कि ये सारे angles हैं 45 degrees होते हैं, right? तो अगर वो साउथ में है और वो 45 डिग्रीज जो है वो टर्न करता है, सो he'll face what? साउथ ईस्ट, right? He'll face this side, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Who asked me that? Are you clear with it?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है ना? Okay. So he then turns 270 degrees. So now what's 270? Actually, wait. I think there's another error because I have changed the question so that it's easier for you to understand. Okay, so let's look at it here. We know that he's facing south. He's turned 45 degrees anti-clockwise to southeast. And then he's turned 180 degrees. अब 180 degrees क्या होता है? This angle. ठीक है? Because we have 90 degrees and then we have 90 degrees again. ये 180 degrees समझ आ गया कैसे हो रहा है? Anti-clockwise direction में left side में he is moving 180 degrees. अभी he's moved 180 degrees. He's facing which direction? Which is this direction?
Northwest.
ठीक है, northwest. So he's facing northwest, which is our answer. Where Karan is
Ma'am,
facing. You have a doubt?
Ma'am, I don't understand this.
You don't understand. Okay, I'll explain it again. So do you understand when I say that he's facing south, which is this direction? Okay, just let's go step by step. This is fine. He's facing south. Can you tell me your name who asked me to explain it again so I can,
Samina.
Samina. Okay, so this is clear that he's facing south, Samina?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है, उसके बाद 45 डिग्रीज टर्न एंटी क्लॉकवाइज में. एंटी क्लॉकवाइज मतलब क्या हुआ? लेफ्ट.
हाँ जी.
लेफ्ट में 45 डिग्रीज टर्न किया है उसने. तो अगर 45 डिग्रीज लेफ्ट में टर्न किया है तो ये क्या, कौन सा डायरेक्शन हुआ? साउथ ईस्ट ना, राइट?
हाँ जी.
ये क्लियर है?
हाँ जी मैम, ये तो क्लियर है.
ठीक है, फिर उसने 180 डिग्रीज का टर्न लिया है एंटी क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन में. तो अब समझो कि यहां से लेट्स सी 180 डिग्रीज कहाँ होगा. 45 ये है, ठीक है, ये 45 45 राइट 45. अब नाउ इफ यू सी 45 प्लस 45 यहाँ 90 हुआ, प्लस 45 अगेन एंड देन प्लस 45. सो 4 टाइम्स वी एडेड 45 टू गेट व्हाट? 180. आप खुद देखो, अगर आप 180 और हम क्या बोल रहे हैं कि वो 180 डिग्रीज एंटी क्लॉकवाइज गया है, तो मतलब वो लेफ्ट की तरफ में 180 डिग्रीज गया है. तो वो कहाँ पहुंचेगा? किस डायरेक्शन में पहुंचेगा?
नॉर्थ वेस्ट.
ठीक है, क्लियर हुआ? एनी डाउट स्टिल?
हाँ जी.
ओके, एनीवन? एवरीवन, इट्स क्लियर फॉर एवरीवन?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. ठीक है, so now let's move on to another question. Now this I want you to solve. I will read this question out once. Ram walks 5 kilometers towards the south, turns right. So Ram has walked 5 kilometers toward the south, turned right. After walking 3 kilometers, he turns 90 degrees clockwise and walks 5 kilometers. Which direction is he facing now? Guys, try to solve it. Put your answers in the chat box. Try to solve it. Take a couple of minutes, solve it and put it, okay, in the chat box.
Ma'am, north.
Just put it in the chat box. I'll tell you. I'll give you the answer. I'll also ask who's. Okay, guys, go ahead. I'm waiting so that everyone gets a little bit of time. Okay, I see a lot of you have answered north. Let's see if that is the answer. So we're saying that Ram walks 5 kilometers towards the south. So 5 kilometers south में walk किया है. अब he's turned right. ठीक है, तो अगर वो साउथ में है तो उसके लिए राइट किधर होगा? उसके लिए राइट होगा इधर. ओके, so this is which? Let's also make directions so no one's confused. ठीक है, so he's turned right and after walking 3 kilometers, तो अब इसने वापस 3 kilometers walk किया इधर राइट में, which is in the west direction. He turns 90 degrees clockwise. Clockwise means he's turned which side? Right. ठीक है, so just a minute, guys. Yeah, so he's turned 90 degrees clockwise towards the right side, and his right side here is what? He's moving this side. Okay, wait, look at this diagram actually. So for him, he's moving. Wait, I think this is not done correctly.
एंड लिखा है मैम यहाँ पे.
Yeah, never mind. So he's turned clockwise. So he's turned this side and he walks 5 kilometers again. Just look at this question instead. Okay. And he's facing north. Now, anyone who's answered anything else apart from north? I see Sehla who's answered south, I think. Sehla, are you clear? Or like, did you?
Yes, ma'am. Now I'm clear.
Okay, this is clear now?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll see this again. If he had turned anti-clockwise, then it would have been south. But because he's turned clockwise here, it's north. Okay? So you understand how it's working? Degrees में कैसे हो रहा है, and अगर clockwise anti-clockwise है, तो clockwise मतलब right and anti-clockwise मतलब left. Fine, this is fine. All of these things, directions, degrees and clockwise, anti-clockwise. Any confusion यहाँ तक?
No, ma'am.
No?
No, ma'am.
For anyone?
No, ma'am.
ठीक है?
No,
So
ma'am.
now we move on. Okay, that's great. So now we move on to the next thing, which we have to cover when we look at directions, which is the Pythagoras theorem. Now, I'm sure कि you must have done this in school, right? Basic concept.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? But let's just see it anyway, so it's clear. So, Pythagoras theorem says that the square, so in a right angle triangle, मतलब a triangle जिसमें दो sides का 90 degree बन रहा है, ठीक है? In a right angle triangle, the square of the height plus the square of the base, which is a square plus b square here, gives the square of the hypotenuse, which is c here. ठीक है? Now tell me anyone who does not understand this.
Ma'am, repeat it again.
Okay, so this is a right angle triangle. Right angle triangle क्या होता है? जिसमें दो sides का, जिसमें आपका जो height है, which is a here and then here is the base, उनके बीच में जो angle बन रहा है वो 90 degrees है. ठीक है? So this is your 90 degrees का angle between A and B. Now, according to the theorem, what it says is कि अगर आप इसको square करोगे, A को square करोगे और B को square करोगे, तो जो number आएगा, it should be equal to C square. ठीक है? इसका square होगा वो. Did you understand what I said?
Yes,
Is there,
ma'am.
ठीक है, is there still a doubt? Anyone who's still not clear? Because this is something you will very often use in questions which are related to direction. So you have to understand how this works. Anyone, guys? All right, okay. So I'll move on. Okay, I'll move on to a question then to see how we have to apply this, how we'll apply this to a question in directions. So now we see that Anil walks 12 kilometers towards east. he turns 90 degrees clockwise and walks 20 kilometers. Then he turned right and walked for 33 kilometers. How far is he from the starting point? अब लाइक आई सेड कि स्टार्ट करने के पहले कोई भी डायरेक्शंस का क्वेश्चन आप डायरेक्शंस बना लो ताकि आपसे कोई भी बेसिक सा मिस्टेक भी ना हो. ओके, so we see that Anil has walked 12 kilometers towards east, which is this side. This is east. This is our starting point. And this is 12 kilometers. He's then turned 90 degrees clockwise, which is in the right direction. So अगर आप यहाँ से 90 degrees clockwise turn करोगे, so you're turning towards south. ठीक है? And he's walked for 20 kilometers. At any point, guys, if you're confused, you can stop me, unmute yourself, stop me and ask me, ताकि आगे जो मैं समझाऊँ वो सब clear हो. So 90 degrees he's turned clockwise and he's walked 20 kilometers. Then he's walked for 33 kilometers by turning right. So to the right, if he's moving towards south, his right would be here, west, right? So he's walked for 33 kilometers now. अब इस क्वेश्चन में क्या पूछ रहा है? अच्छा, first can someone tell me which direction is he from the starting point? This is the starting point, this is the end point. So ये कौन सा direction है?
Southwest.
Southwest, right? ये तो समझ आ गया होगा सबको, ये southwest direction में है from the starting point. Right? Anyone जिसको ये चीज भी समझ नहीं आई हो? So I can explain it before I move on to what the question is asking. Okay, see, इसमें मैंने बोला कि if we have to see कि ये starting point है हमारा, ठीक है, this is our starting point, this thing, the cross. So यहाँ से and this is our end point, ending point. उसने पहले 12 kilometers east चला, फिर उसने 90 degrees clockwise, मतलब उसने right turn लिया 90 degrees from east, तो वो south में चल रहा है now 20 kilometers, ठीक है. उसके बाद उसने वापस right turn लिया. Now right turn here, if he's facing south means he's turned towards west and he's walked for what? 33 kilometers, ठीक है. So अब वो ये 12 है, ये 33 है, so obviously ये आगे आ गया. Now यहाँ पे उसका ending point है. तो starting point से अगर हम पूछते हैं कि which direction is Anil now facing from the starting point, so we know that this is the starting point, this is the ending point. So he is facing the southwest direction, right? Did you understand कि वो southwest क्यों है? Why is this? Because ये यहाँ पे था and यहाँ पे, so we're here, we've reached here, and if you see the direction that this is in, it's southwest from this point. Did you get it? Whoever asked me, can you say yes or no?
Yes, ma'am, clear है.
ठीक है ना. अब देखते हैं what the question is asking. How far is he from the starting point? The question is asking कि what is the distance? तो ये जो distance है ये कितना है? So now how do we solve it? तो अगर हम let's wait a minute. Yeah. So now if we draw this line here, we know कि ये 20 kilometers, like the length of this is 20, right? Because this is 20, so ये parallel line यहाँ से यहाँ 20 होगी. Can someone tell me कि इसका length क्या होगा?
Yes.
21. 21. Now, why is it 21? ये भी बताओ फिर.
33 minus 12.
ठीक है. Now, someone who doesn't understand this, एक बार tell me if anyone who has any doubts here that the distance for this line is 21. This part. See. Anyone who has a doubt?
Ma'am, I have a doubt in the.
Yeah, you have a doubt.
Which you draw a line.
This line.
Yeah.
Yeah. So see, we have to find out this distance, right? तो अभी हमने theorem देखा है जिसमें अगर हमें height और base पता हो तो हम ये distance निकाल सकते हैं, right? अगर so यहाँ पे basically this is the height we know because ये हमने सिर्फ अपने convenience के लिए draw किया है, ठीक है? This is just to make sure कि we form a triangle, we form a right angle triangle, right? ये right angle triangle बनेगा यहाँ पे. So that is just for our convenience and to be able to solve the question that we've drawn this line with the white. ठीक है? Is it clear?
Okay, ma'am. Okay,
ठीक है
ma'am.
ना? तो यहाँ पे ये 20 है length, इसका 21 length है. So if we look at the theorem which says कि अगर हम इसका square करेंगे, which is our height, so we square the height and then we square the base, so it's 21 square, right? We'll get the square of this. So 20 square we know is 400. 21 square will be 441.
441.
Yeah, 441. ठीक है? इसको आप add कर दो. So this is 841. ठीक है? अब 841 जो है इस लेंथ का इसका स्क्वायर है. Sorry, just draw this better. Just give me a minute, guys. Yeah, I'm so sorry for the disturbance. Right. So this distance का square will be 841. तो अगर हम उसका square root लेंगे, so 841 square root. Just a minute. Okay, this is very bad. This thing. I'll just draw this here again. So this, if we square root this, can someone tell me what the answer will be?
29.
29. ठीक है गाइस, समझ आ रहा है ये कैसे हो रहा है? किसी को अभी तक नहीं समझ आया हो कि कैसे हुआ है? प्लीज unmute yourselves and ask me. We've squared the height, which is 20. We get 400. We've squared the base, which is 21. We get 441. हमने दोनों को add कर दिया based on this theorem a square plus b square, where we've got 841, जिसका अगर हम square root लेंगे तो 29 होगा, which will be this distance, which says how far is this person from the starting point, which is 29 kilometers. Any doubts, guys? You can ask me if there are any doubts. No doubts, everything's clear. If it's clear, you can also say that it's clear. So just say yes or put a thumbs up in the
Yes,
chat.
ma'am, it's clear.
Everything's clear? Everything that I've covered till now is clear for everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, great. So for today, we're just going to stop here, right? Because this was just our first lecture. So we did some basics. We covered a few basic topics, a few basic questions of, directions, some basic concepts. There are a few more things that we should be able to do, and we'll, I think, cover this entire topic. I will suggest that you keep practicing questions. You must have some things you're referring to for reasoning, right? You have books. Do you have any books that you're referring to for reasoning till now?
Yes, ma'am. R.S. Agrawal.
R.S. Agrawal, right? So if you don't have it, I can also send you questions ke PDFs to solve. If you have the book, you can, look at this. So start solving questions from the topic. ठीक है? Reasoning, I aim to cover a month, 1.5 months. How to find square root. See, square root, you'll have to. Okay, I think I'll talk to you separately after the lecture, so you can stay over. Please send the question in the PDF format. I'll send these slides in the PDF format, right? This all the slides that I do, so you don't have to worry about that. This thing in the slides. Let me just stop the recording because for now that's done, and then just let me discuss it.